anyone who wants to become a pledge.
What fresh hell is this?
Game that with some mathematics. You need logic for money acrobatics. Money is confusing like laws of physics.
It'll wake you up in the middle of the night. The feeling that someday they'll come for you and your children.
Don't miss on U24.
Now, to be honest with you, we are currently living in the best time to ever get rich online. And well, I assume that's why you're watching this video. Now, to some of you who may not know who I am, well, I'm Daniel Ashweze, a 24-year millionaire day trader, and I've been trading close to 5 years. I have generated hundreds of thousands of dollars entirely through trading. And more to that, I've been able to teach thousands of students to make money trading. Now, my purpose of doing this video is to teach you on how to start trading completely from scratch. I'll show you what to do straight from the beginning, and I'll also take you through the intermediate, and lastly, how you can actually be able to make money. And by the way, I'll also show you on how you can start with as less as $50. Now, without any further ado, let's get started with our course.
Don't miss on U24.
Now, to be honest with you, we are currently living in the best time to ever get rich online. And well, I assume that's why you're watching this video. Now, to some of you who may not know who I am, well, I'm Daniel Ashweze, a 24-year millionaire day trader, and I've been trading close to 5 years. I have generated hundreds of thousands of dollars entirely through trading. And more to that, I've been able to teach thousands of students to make money trading. Now, my purpose of doing this video is to teach you on how to start trading completely from scratch. I'll show you what to do straight from the beginning, and I'll also take you through the
number one, that there is no room or place of violence or for violence in our electoral process. That elections are not a do or die affair. And safety in elections is safety so that there is no need or situation that can arise to cause violence on anybody, including journalists. What we saw in Kawempe, especially in respect of journalists who were caught in that scuffle, and some of them were brutalized, some of them were harmed. No one, I have not seen anybody who says that they were pleased with what we saw in respect of those particular incidents. And the resolve that we must all make going forward in the general election that is now on already is to commit to say everybody needs to be safe, including journalists. But particularly for journalists, because they have to be there to bring the action that is happening on the ground. So it is our hope and our call on everybody to make sure that journalists doing their job are accredited, professional, responsible, who are also following the guidelines and the rules, can be able to do their work unhindered. So the key thing here is that everybody that is involved in the electoral process, including journalists, must follow the law, must follow the regulations, so that we guarantee safety and security for all.
All right, let's look at the roadmap of 2025-2026. We are seeing very many politicians have come out. Some of them, we are seeing posters all over, town where we stay. And maybe someone watching us right now does not know the roadmap of 2025 to 2026. What do you have to say about that?
So let me explain what the roadmap is.
Yes.
As the word itself,
road map.
A road and a map. There must be, when you're on a road or on a road map, it supposes that there is a destination, because you could be moving in circles. Okay? So the idea of the Electoral Commission developing a roadmap, which is a series of processes, events, and milestones that take us from point A to point B. Point B is the destination. The destination of this 2025-2026 general election is what is going to happen between Jan and Feb, when the general election to vote new members of parliament, new president, new leaders at all levels.
The LC1, the LC2s,
those ones are not
mayors,
the mayors, the LC5s, the councillors.
Yes.
That is the destination. And that destination is actually in the Constitution. There is
someone doesn't know the Constitution.
We are going to come there. We are going to come there. And we shall be saying that, I think it must be Article 61, Clause 2 of the 1995 Constitution of Uganda reads that the Electoral Commission shall, and when you hear in law the word shall, it means must. You must do it whether the devil wants it or not,
doesn't want it,
or whether it rains or whether it shines. The Electoral Commission shall hold presidential, general parliamentary, and local government council elections within the first 30 days of the last 122 days before the expiry of the term of president, parliament, or local government councils. So the destination for our journey of 2025-2026 is clearly laid out because of this clause and the article in the Constitution. So when the Commission is planning, it first goes to the end and says, when is the term of office of the current office bearers ending? And we know that in this country, a new government must be sworn in by the 12th of May after every 5 years. And what that means is that on 12th of May,
next year, we should have a
a
president.
new president
shall be elected.
we'll be swearing in a new new presidential term. We shall be swearing in new members of parliament. They should be in place, and councillors and local governments. So then we go backwards to say, what do we need to have polling elections to swear in somebody? Before somebody is sworn in, they must be voted in.
Yes.
So then you start from there and come. And so when you say the first 30 days of the last 122 days, they give you the roadmap that says that these elections will be held between 9th of between January and Feb.
Yes.
And dates are in there. A specific date will be communicated by the commission. And then we go backwards to the things that must be in place. So the first item on the roadmap, when this roadmap was announced in August 2023, revised last year in July, and the public was informed, the first exercise was the demarcation of electoral areas. You had people saying seats of councillors have reduced
yes.
in the city and some places. Why is the Electoral Commission doing this? Everything the Commission does is in the law, because the Commission is mandated and directed by the Constitution, by the law, to demarcate.
Well, people say that you do not follow what is in this book.
No, we want anybody who challenges that to go to court, because the Constitution says that if you have anything that you
don't believe in,
court. It's only court that can determine that. I can tell you and the viewers that are watching that the Electoral Commission, everything we do is guided by various electoral laws. So we had demarcation as the first step.
Yes.
The second one was reorganization of polling stations.
How organized are we in these polling stations? Because I, for one, may say that I am going to vote from Nansana. Recently, we had you coming out telling us that we should go and check our names.
Yes.
Then other people say their names were not found, but these are the people that have been voting.
Right.
You know,
right.
I do not know for how many years,
Yes.
including my mom.
Yes.
These are the people that have been voting, but some of them got to check
Yes.
the registry and they find that their names are not there. They send them to another polling station.
So, no, you have a point. But let me explain on the reorganization of polling stations. Because places where we voted in 2021 may no longer exist. What was a polling station and was a building may have been demolished.
So where do we expect these people to go and vote from? Who have been voting from there for I do not know how many years.
So when we were reorganizing the polling stations at the end of last year, our staff deployed across the country. We are going to these places where we voted in 2021 and checking, is this place still available? Has it now been built? Where there was a school, there may be a shopping mall. Where was the praying ground, where we voted from, there may be a building. So the organization was meant to make sure that we confirm that these places are still available. Where they were not, new places have been gazetted as polling stations. And that is why last week you saw the commission coming out with a long list of polling stations across the country, so that people already in advance know that their polling station is this or that. But let me come to the issue of people like your mom or your friends who say they can't find themselves on the
because
register.
You might find that they were voting from here, then the names are not there, then they send them to the village.
Okay.
Isn't that disorganizing?
You have a point, and this is why we do what we are doing. When we finished organizing polling stations, we had an exercise of the general update of the National Voters Register, where the law mandates the Commission to do so, to give an opportunity to new voters to get registered. Because there are people who registered as citizens, because first of all, to be a voter, you must first and foremost be a citizen of Uganda.
True. 18 and above.
And 18 and above. Thank you very much. I'm very glad. That's number one. Number two, you must, to be a national citizen, citizenship is verified by NIRA.
Yes, you have to have a national ID
or a NIN, National Identification Number. So once you have that, the law says you don't become automatically a voter because you are a citizen or because you are 18. you have to come and show interest that you want to be a voter. Because voting in Uganda is not compulsory, it's optional. That is why the...
What do you mean is optional? If it is optional,
yes.
You might find some people be like, okay, me, I'll not vote since you've said it's optional.
Yes. To be a voter is optional. That's what the law says. Maybe we want to change the law and say it is a must that if you're a citizen
you should
and you're
vote.
18, you must
vote.
If that is what people want, they have to go to Parliament, pass a law that compels everybody to say, if you don't vote, you will not get on a government scholarship at university, you will not get services in hospitals, you will not get services I don't know where. And that's a decision that would have to be taken by the people who make laws, who are members of Parliament. But the law, as it is now, is that somebody must decide that they want
to vote,
to be voters. And that is why we do voter education and civic education, to say, it is your right, but we don't force you. But people need to understand and appreciate why it is important to vote.
For your leaders.
Yes, because if you don't vote, those wrong people may become your leaders. And if you don't vote, you don't have a right to complain about bad leadership or bad leaders, because you have voted with your absence. So it is important that Ugandans of voting age, 18 years and above, confirmed as citizens, participate in the electoral process by voting. And so that phase was there. We gave an opportunity to new people to register as voters. We gave an opportunity to students who had been registered by NIRA before they were 18 and now have turned 18.
They can now vote.
They could go now to areas which were announced at that time to go and get allocated polling stations. When we finished that, now the exercise we are on, the Kawufume that is on today, is the display of the National Voters Register and the display of the Voters Register for special interest groups. Special interest groups have youth, because youth they have their processes that lead to youth members of Parliament. They are persons with disability. Yes. They have their committees that move up and create members of Parliament representing persons with disability. The elderly, those who are 60 years and above, have their own structure.
Yes.
The exercise that is happening now, and which I want to use this opportunity to call on, especially the young people that are watching us this morning.
Yes.
Please, go to your polling station, because this exercise of display is happening at the polling station. At each polling station. We have 38,000
polling stations
plus polling stations in Uganda. Go to the polling station where you registered to vote. And you know, in Uganda, you can only just register to vote from a polling station where you reside or where you originate.
Well, when you talk about that gives me a question to ask you. You've said that we are supposed to vote from where we reside. This is a scenario. What if I shift from where I've been staying, and let's have been voting from Nansana, I go and stay in Chalwajala?
Yes.
What does that mean? Am I supposed to go back and vote from Nansana, or I'm supposed to get another polling station in Chalwajala where I'm supposed to vote? Because if you say it is where you reside, that is where you're supposed to vote from. Someone out there might be confused that me, I shifted.
Yes.
So now where am I going to vote from, since it is now this is where I stay? Or perhaps even too, as we're going towards elections, people are going to shift.
Yes.
So they're not going to be in one residential area.
Yes.
So what does that mean?
So that is why when we had that exercise of the update of the voters register, and which also had the opportunity to give to people to change their voting locations in case they had moved from one place to another, that phase was there, and it ended on the 17th of Feb this year. That was the period for transfer. And there was that cutoff. People were saying, "Oh, you should leave it open up to the end."
Yes, because there are some people. I, for one, have not gone through the register to say where I'm going to vote from.
And the people say, "But we keep moving and keep changing." However, the commission had to have a cutoff date in order to produce a register. Because if you keep it fluid, because producing a voters register is tedious work, because the register is at each polling station. If you keep it open, elections will come when there is no register, because people are still shifting, moving from one location of residence to another. So unfortunately, if you did not change and transfer during that window that was there, you would unfortunately have
to vote,
to go back to that place where you are registered from
and vote from there.
Vote from there. It is done not because the commission does not consider the concerns of people. It is done that way because it needs to give the commission the time to prepare a register, which has to be available to political parties before elections begin. And the elections are actually beginning in June.
In June, yes.
Because the first set of nominations for special interest groups are going to be in June. So, what is happening now is that display. Everything that came from the update of the voters register, the new people that were registered, the people who changed their voting locations, where all there was a process of bringing all those returns from across the country by the staff of the Electoral Commission to put them together into registers, into the National Voters Register, from which we extract the registers for special interest groups, the women, the youth, the person with disability,
the
and
elderly.
the elderly.
Yes.
Those are the three categories.
Okay.
Now, so when the people now go, and what we're telling people now to do and the public to do, go to your polling station, because our staff work every day for 21 days. They work every day from Monday to Monday. No Saturday,
no Sunday,
no Sunday, no public holiday. We call ourselves Team No Sleep during this period. Go.
Is it a very crucial period?
It is extremely significant because a register is the foundation of a credible election. If you have a fake register, if you have an unclean register, if you have a register that is not credible, then you already are starting on a shaky ground. And that is why we call upon the public. Go first, check your particulars.
Yes.
That my name is there. Number two, check that the photo that is on the register
is mine.
Is yours. Because if you have a different photo, then they can be.
But we change, people grow. Maybe the way I am now is not the way I was way back 4 or 5 years ago.
Well, at least there will still be a semblance of Shida in that photo.
Yes.
Then the second category of things to look out for in the register is, are there people who died between 2021
to 20
now and need to be removed? So if you see them on the register, you flag them and say, this one died, so that we don't have ghosts voting.
Yeah.
So that we don't have the dead voting, you report those to the team of the electorate. There's a form that is filled to capture those. Do you see somebody on the register and you say, this one is not 18? They could have slipped through the process.
Well, these days the national IDs lie. We lie years.
I know a certain gender that does not normally like to say how old they are.
Yeah, the one that's seated right next to
No,
you.
I am not. They are not here. They are not here.
Yes.
But people, some people can lie.
Yeah, they lie. The age.
And which of course is unbecoming and against the values that we uphold as Ugandans. But if you see somebody and say, this one we know when he was born. Clearly they are 14, not 18. And you have evidence. Again, you report them. Then you can see somebody say, these ones are appearing more than once. This
on the register.
On the register.
Yes.
Remove it. So
and those the ghost voters that we're talking about?
And this is why this exercise of the display is very, very important. Because it is through this exercise that the people, the public, will enable the commission and the country to clean the register and have only the right people on the register. Those who must are on and those who shouldn't be are off. Because the commission, us at the Electoral Commission, can't do it by ourselves. Because we don't know the people who died. We don't know who is underage. They could have lied. But in the mechanism of the display, there is a provision for a tribunal. The residing magistrate in the areas across the country have set up tribunals at the parish level. This committee's team of all the people who are respected, 60 years and above, with good representation, will sit and go through all recommendations that have come to say, this one died. Is it true he died? Because somebody who doesn't like you can say,
So that this person died.
This person, you know, we have not seen him. It seems he died.
They passed away, yet the person is actually there.
You can be killed on the register. So that's why this team of the tribunal,
yes, is working very hard.
So there will be a display period of 10 days to enable people to go and say, these people have been recommended for removal. Do you have any objection? It's called the period of natural justice. And the people will come and say, this one is alive actually. He was sick but he has not yet died. And when all this has been done, we can say that this register is our register.
Well,
it is our register, and we are proud of it, and we believe it.
Well, let's talk about, you talked about something to do with the NIN numbers. Yes. Some people already have national IDs that have expired. Yes. And here we are going to vote in just a very short period. Yes. As we've said that come June, that is when the exact work is starting. What do we have to say about people who have national IDs that have expired? Are we going to use this are we going to bring these national IDs? Are you going to look at them, the expiry date? Is there anything that you people are working upon with NANERA to see that these national IDs are updated before the time we go into election period?
So what I know is that the date on the national ID can show expiry, that expires.
Some expired actually last year.
But what doesn't expire is the NIN. That long number is yours forever. That is your national identification number. The card, what is on the card is a time frame, but the NIN, even when you renew, you still have the same NIN. So in verifying citizenship, what is used is not on the expiry date, but that NIN. But for polling, every voter will be given, or is being given, a voter location slip. This is the slip that you bring that has your voter location number, that has that once they enter that number, your details will come, and then you will also go through the process of verification. And now we know that there is going to be emphasis on the use of technology, machines, to make sure that we verify using biometric technology to make sure that the people that claim they are who they are indeed who they are.
All right. Well, you are still watching U24. My name is Sheila Kahunda, and of course, we're looking at the roadmap of 2025 to 2026. How ready are you for these elections? Well, Mr. Mucunguzi, the spokesperson, has said that come in June, that is when the work is really going to start. Have you checked to find out that you are in that register? Have you checked to know that your neighbor is going to vote? Well, your neighbor may have passed away, but is still in that register. Well, you can follow this conversation on our YouTube channel, which is at U24 Television UG. We are also in X, which is the former Twitter. You can follow us and tell us your views about the roadmap. What do you think about this roadmap of 2025 to 2026? And when we come back, we're just going to take a very short break. But when we come back, Mr. Mucunguzi will be closing up this session, and also we're going to ask him how ready is the EC. Is it ready for the 2026 elections? Are they ready? How have they, made themselves to be ready? How are they working upon themselves to make sure that this time we shall not have the rigging of votes? Well, maybe he will also talk about that and what is the way forward about that. Well, all that is happening right here. But also do not forget, today is World Press Freedom Day. To all the journalists out there, Thank you so much for the work that you're doing. We stand with those ones that have been brutally beaten. Well, he has talked about it, and he has said for them, they stand with us because without the journalists, we cannot have news. If you do not have a newsroom, then the news will not be there. But today, we do celebrate all the journalists that have done a very, very, very good work out there. This is your day that we need to celebrate. Let's take a very short break. When we come back, we'll be concluding the 2026 roadmap and also asking Mr. Mucunguzi if the EC is ready for the 2026 election.
Don't miss on U24.
Now, to be honest with you, we are currently living in the best time to ever get rich online. And well, I assume that's why you're watching this video. Now, to some of you who may not know who I am, well, I'm Daniel Ashweze, a 24-year millionaire day trader, and I've been trading close to 5 years. I have generated hundreds of thousands of dollars entirely through trading. And more to that, I've been able to teach thousands of students to make money trading. Now, my purpose of doing this video is to teach you on how to start trading completely from scratch. I'll show you what to do straight from the beginning, and I'll also take you through the intermediate, and lastly, how you can actually be able to make money. And by the way, I'll also show you on how you can start with as less as $50. Now, without any further ado, let's get started with our course.
Hello everyone, my name is Erica Murunji and welcome to Be Inspired by Erica. Hope you're fine and doing well. So today I want to talk about how to maintain friendships. Be kind, always show up for each other, be there in good or bad times. Be genuinely happy for each other, celebrate each other's wins and successes. Keep secrets, don't gossip, don't be mean, always share, be kind. Show compassion, love and empathy. Be considerate for each other's feelings, be kind. Be real, don't pretend, don't backbite your friends. Always help each other out in your friends' weaknesses. If you know a skill, teach your friends. Stop making fun of others. And when you do that, you'll be able to maintain your friendships. Thank you for watching. Stay blessed. Much love. Hello, my name is Erica Murunji and welcome to Be Inspired by Erica. Hope you're fine and happy to be alive. So today I want to talk about preparation. Work hard and believe in yourself. Much love.
Gaddafi tried to form a pan-Arab state with Egypt and Syria and even Tunisia.
About those part of life, all I know about is Rastafari, and try bringing this truth to them.
And if they found that what you are saying it is not truth, but then they will never listen for you again, and that you will lose confidence to the people.
Live together in harmony and with equal opportunities.
Don't miss on U24.
Now, to be honest with you, we are currently living in the best time to ever get rich online. And well, I assume that's why you're watching this video. Now, to some of you who may not know who I am, well, I'm Daniel Ashweze, a 24-year millionaire day trader, and I've been trading close to 5 years. I have generated hundreds of thousands of dollars entirely through trading. And more to that, I've been able to teach thousands of students to make money trading. Now, my purpose of doing this video is to teach you on how to
Electoral Commission, Mr. Mucunguzi, Julius, and of course, we are discussing about the roadmap of 2025-2026. How ready are you? Are you ready to vote? Have you checked your name in the register to find out that your name is there and you're going to vote anyways? Do you know where your polling station is? And do you know where you're going to vote from? You do not be mistaken. You may be voting from Nasana, and then later on the place where you are voting from, as he has explained to us, that is no more. So you need to go and check it out. It is very important. And also voting is very important because this is the time you get to vote your leaders of your own choice, not the choice of the Electoral Commission. That's why we put there the voting. You're supposed to vote for your own leaders. And also today is World Press Freedom Day. To all the journalists out there who do a remarkable work, we say thank you so much for doing everything that you do. Without the newsroom, we cannot have news. So that's why today we do celebrate World Press Day. It's not only celebrated here, but it is celebrated all over the world. Well, Mr. Mucunguzi, we're still talking about the elections. Let's talk about how ready are we for the 2026 elections.
So, we are very ready.
How ready?
The Electoral Commission is ready because the readiness of the Electoral Commission goes hand in hand with the readiness of the citizens to participate in the various elements of the electoral roadmap. Because as we have already said, elections are not an event. They are a process. And the processes have milestones. The milestone now we are handling today for the next 2 weeks up to the 15th of May is the display of the National Voters Register and the register for special interest groups. Those are the youth, person with a disability, and the elderly. So in terms of readiness, the Commission has got the machinery that is required. It has got the staff that are required. It has got the resources for ensuring that this election is held. It has got the goodwill of citizens, because you see, we need the goodwill. And that is why the Commission always says the preparedness of the country in the lead up and preparation for the elections is a responsibility of everybody that has a role to play in the elections. And we call them stakeholders. Because the EC, the Electoral Commission, does not vote. We don't vote.
We the people then that vote.
The Electoral Commission does not field candidates. Political parties field candidates. The Electoral Commission does not report news. The news is reported by the media.
Yes.
So there are roles, rights, duties, and responsibilities of each actor in the electoral process. And our call is for us to say that we are ready. The readiness is a collective. On our part, if we are ready and the voters are not ready, we can't say we have an election. If we are ready and the political parties have not organized themselves to conduct their own party primaries, to make sure that the party primaries are clean, or they have not built their structures, then we shall still have an election that is not ready, even when we are technically ready. If we are ready on our part, and the police that is supposed to secure the election is not ready, we can still have a problem. So the readiness is a collective effort. And that is why the Commission always emphasizes that collective effort towards a free, fair, credible, and transparent election. So where we are, in terms of what we need to have done by this point, the Commission is confident that we have done it.
All right.
But we are going to continue to say, because the readiness also comes along people making sure that those who registered to vote actually vote when the time comes.
True.
Because we've been having a problem of low voter turnout.
Yeah. Why?
Exactly. And we have, this is a question that must engage all of us. It is like, you know, cooking a meal at home and people don't come to eat it. Some of the food you can put it in the fridge for another day, but after, if you had prepared food for 100 people and only 10 come, it will go bad. And for elections, when we are preparing the meal and putting it on the table for Ugandans to come and partake in the general election, we are basically saying we are producing materials, we are producing ballot papers. If we are planning for 20 million people, voters, and only 10 turn up, 10 million voters will vote and ballots will go to waste because we can't use them again in 2031.
Yes.
So when we don't turn up, we actually cost ourselves because the money that is used to run these elections is taxpayers' money. It is your money, it is my money, it is your money out there. Okay. So that is why we call on Ugandans to participate fully in all exercises and all processes and all milestones and events on the Electoral Commission roadmap. Whether it is this one that we are in of the update of the display of the National Voters Register and calling upon you to come and check your particulars and make sure that the dead, the underage, or those who appear multiple times are removed, please do so. Because when you do so, you are actually doing it as a citizen, but you're also doing it as a person who loves their country, who is patriotic, and in that process you will help the process to be ready. The readiness is for all of us. It's not just for the commission. On our part, we do the technical part of organizing. Just like the chairman of the commission, just always says that we are like the midwives of this process. Or we are like the referees of a football game.
We are preparing.
We are preparing the meal.
Prepare a meal, yes.
But if you have a referee, for instance, for a game, who comes in the pitch and there are no players, there can't be a game.
Yeah, true.
Even if you have a game and you don't have linesmen or women, you have a game where the rules will not be followed. Or if you have a game, you have players who choose not to follow the rules, and the player says, for me, if I lose the ball, I will not lose the leg, and they break bones. The referee can give yellow cards. The referee can then go to give the red card, but then at some point you may run out of the cards. So we ask, in terms of being prepared, that all Ugandans, all stakeholders, all those who have a role to play in organizing and preparing for the general election of 2025-2026, please play it. Play that rule by the games, by the rules. Play that rule game following procedures. Play that role respectfully and respecting each other.
All right, let's talk about the youth.
Yes.
The youth also engage themselves into these elections.
Yes.
What do you have to talk about the youth? Do you think the youth are ready? And let's talk also briefly talk about the rigging of votes.
Yes.
It has become a problem.
Yes.
We can see when we had the elections in Kawempe, the other party that I will not mention came up and said, no. You people, our votes were stolen. Also, the other party came up and said, no. Also our votes were stolen. Let's talk about rigging, but mostly let's look at the youth out there that engage themselves in voting. What do you have to talk about that?
When I'm speaking to and engaging the young
youth,
people,
yes.
the youth, I actually have to look them in the eyes. Because young people in this country are the majority. Statistics from UBOS have shown us that the percentage of people below 30 eclipses everybody.
Yes.
We are a country of young people with very few old people scattered in it. Young people have many positive attributes. They are young, they are energetic, they have vibe, they are tech savvy, they know how to use these digital technologies, they have resilience. But we also know that young people face unique challenges, one of them being unemployment and all the attendant issues that come with it. In the electoral process, young people have a very, very critical role. And we would like to call on young people that as you involve and engage in the electoral process, and especially when you go to rallies and campaigns, the biggest percentage of the people that are there
The young people.
are the young people.
Yes.
They are the ones chanting and singing and dancing. And often, sometimes we've seen young people get caught up, involved in acts that are unlawful, that are sometimes violent, and they clash with the law and law enforcement. We want to ask young people that in preparation and participation in the various stages of the electoral process, please be law-abiding. Number 2, follow the guidelines that are issued by the Electoral Commission. Number 3, treat each other with respect. If a fellow young man or young woman supports a different candidate or different political party, let that not be a ground for enmity.
For fighting, for killing each other.
Exactly. Let elections not divide us. Because sometimes we divide ourselves and fight amongst ourselves as supporters, when the people who win actually dine together, drink together.
They don't even know us.
They don't even know us. So make sure that you treat each other with respect. Election should not divide us. We may belong to different political settings or political parties or support different candidates, but do not let that divide you and disunite you and cause you to harm each other. Do not use language that sows hatred and animosity. Do not misuse technology and engage in misinformation, disinformation, and spreading of fake news. All these undermine the country. But also, let us know that before anything else, before belonging to political party this or political party that, or candidate this or candidate that, we are first and foremost Ugandans. We are citizens of Uganda. And we have one country called Uganda. Every effort that we engage in, every activity, everything that we do should make sure that the bigger goal of building a united, prosperous, peaceful Uganda become the anchor of every action we take. That is the message to young people. You have a critical role to play. Given, assuming other factors constant, as they say, you have a longest time and lifespan on this earth, in this country. What you do today will impact what will happen tomorrow, and that is why you should be interested in elections and choosing your leaders. You should be interested in participating in all stages of the electoral process, so that together we can build a country with the full participation of the young people for the good of our country.
All right. Maybe lastly, what criteria do you use when you are getting people that help you in the voting during the election periods? Because we see that not everyone that is going to come out of office is going to come and help. We see that you go ahead and recruit people. What kind of criteria do you use when you're getting these people that help out during the process of electoral commission?
There are various stages in the electoral process that require the use and deployment of very many people. For instance, this particular exercise of the display of the National Voters Register and voters registers for special interest groups, we need an officer at each of the over 38,000 polling stations across the country. The Electoral Commission has only 800 staff. So before every general election, the Electoral Commission recruits massively people on a short-term basis, on temporary basis, but they are actually doing permanent work because there is no temporary nature of the Electoral Commission's work. We recruit staff that join the ranks of the Commission for a given period of time to support the Commission in these labor-intensive activities. The update of the National Voters Register was one of them, and the organization of polling stations was another. This display of the vote is also one of those where we recruit people. Normally it is they advertised actually. They advertise it.
Is it senior 4? Is it senior 6?
I think
it P7?
I think it is senior 6 and above. Senior 6. So most of them have senior 6 and above. When they are recruited, they don't have experience. There is a rigorous training. The Commission undertakes rigorous training of these people to run them through the laws, to run through the processes, to run through the forms that must be filled. And they have supervisors. So they are officers at the polling station, they are supervisors at the parish level, they are sub-county supervisors, they are the returning officers, district election administrators, assistant district election administrators, who supervise this exercise in each of the districts of Uganda. So,
are they paid at the end of the day?
They are indeed paid.
Every month?
They are paid for the period they are working.
All right.
So the payment is per day of the work that they are doing. So they can be contracted for a period of, let's say, 1 year.
Okay.
But within that 1 year, we'll count those days where they have worked, because the contract is specified on the payment terms.
All right.
And they are paid. So it is it's a good exercise opportunity. Yeah.
All right. When you look into our cameras today, what could be your last remarks for the 2026 upcoming elections? And maybe you could also chip in and talk about World Press Freedom Day, since we do make the news. And without us, there cannot be news.
I must say that it has been a delight and an absolute pleasure, Shida, to be hosted here in this studio of U24 television. I want to salute the work that UBC and U24 television does in getting information to the people of Uganda, especially the young people of this country who are the majority. So thank you for inviting the Electoral Commission. Thank you for inviting me. It has been and I look forward to coming back again and again, because there is so much more work to do.
Yes, true.
On this World Press Freedom Day, where we celebrate the works of journalists that continue to give us news, views, and information to enable the citizens make informed choices, I say, carry on, because journalists and journalism does a noble job of encouraging and ensuring transparency, ensuring accountability, and ensuring that we know what we need to do to make decisions. You inform, you educate, you entertain, and those are very critical components in the society. Let me also say that the Electoral Commission counts on all the citizens to fully participate in the various elements of the electoral process. A credible electoral process has to have 3 elements, major elements. The first one is that there must be participation, citizen participation. Citizens must participate in all elements and all stages of the electoral process. The second one is competition. An election is valid and credible when there is competition, when people are showing up and showing interest in the election. Competition on ideas, competition in representation. That is number 2. The third one is rules-based and following the laws. Elections are credible when they are conducted in accordance with the laws of the land. And there are various laws in this book here that I have, various electoral laws starting with the Constitution, the Electoral Commissions Act, parliamentary, presidential and local government acts. We want to call on Ugandans to observe all of these components that make a credible, peaceful, transparent, free and fair election. The commitment of the Electoral Commission is that we will continue to do everything that has to be done according to the law to ensure that Ugandans have the opportunity to choose their leaders as per the provisions of the law. I thank you very much, and I wish you happy World Free Press Day, and I wish all Ugandans the best as we get
to 2025.
As we're already in 2025 and 2026. And thank you very much once again for hosting me.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Mucunguzi, for coming in today to talk about the roadmap of 2025 to 2026. Well, you have said we are in 2025, oh yes, and we look forward for the upcoming elections of 2026, and we hope they'll be free and fair, as you have always been saying, and we hope to invite you again to talk more about the elections that are coming up, because we still have a long way to go until next year. Well, thank you so much for being part of this beautiful show all the way from 9 up to this hour. We've talked a lot about the elections. Well, you can still follow us on our YouTube channel, which is at U24. We've been streaming live. This show is there. You can go and, you know, look into it and see what has been spoken today by the EC of Electoral Commission. Actually, Mr. Mucunguzi has spoken a lot today, and I hope you've also gone to register to see if your name is in the register. And also to the young people out there, as he has said, please let's not use this time of election as a very bad time. Let's not divide. Let families not divide, because we, at the end of the day, we still need each other. Thank you so much, but we still do stand with the family of Mr. Sudil for the loss of his son. May the Lord comfort you in this trying moment, and we pray that his soul may rest in eternal peace. And also, please, let's not drink and drive. Let's also look into the speed. Let's go slow on the road. It's dangerous out there, and they keep on telling us, do not drink and drive. Thank you so much for being part of this. We do this again next week, same time. I've been your host, Sheila Kahunde. Have yourselves a very, very great day, and happy World Press Freedom Day to all the journalists out there that do a very good job out there. Without the journalists, we cannot have news. Have yourself a good day, and we'll be there to attend the World Press Freedom Day.